Alright, cool guys. Right, so thanks for doing this, right? So basically, essentially, I want to know what's your take on capitalism and what you think capitalism is?
Okay, so I feel like capitalism is a system of governance where people can own the factors of production, and you know, everyone can own something. It's not like capitalism or not capitalism, communism.
Yeah.
People can own something and they can sell it to someone.
But yet, capitalism still has its flaws because yet people are still exploited. Right?
And people still, you know, not a lot of people have access to a lot of things like money and, you know, education and so forth. So there is room for it to be fixed.
100%. Thanks, guys.
Great.
And then I think the last question would then be, what do you think that the root cause is of racism in South Africa?
I would say maybe colonialism, I guess.
Okay. All right. Thanks for your time, kids.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. And your take, Tandy, what do you think is the root cause of racism in South Africa?
So, correct from what Philip is saying, it's the root cause of racism is the need to divide and conquer in order to reap the benefits, the most benefits from the country, and by marginalizing groups of people, you sort of can make profit for the minority.
Okay. And what is capitalism? What is a capitalist to you?
Capitalist is someone who's concerned with making a profit, accumulating wealth and power.
And then increasingly now is colorless. You know, and then something people haven't really grasped into that. If I'm a black and I'm a capitalist, you know, people will think of my color than they will think of what, you know, my intentions are.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
And these are my two questions.
So please start off with what's your take on capitalism to you?
I think that capitalism is a system that produces winners and losers and is motivated by competition. I think it kind of sucks because just to live and breathe and survive in this world, you then have to fight for that, which I don't think should be the case, because I didn't ask to be here. But yeah, I think that considering how people who don't necessarily have the resources or means of production are then excluded from that system, which is the way the world runs. It means that they have no means of survival. So I'm not really for it, but I also feel like I don't have the solutions.
Cool. And maybe the last question. Oh, you want to come in? Yeah, just come round. Come on. So you want to touch base on that particular question?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, go for it.
So capitalism is essentially about ownership, right?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily about like ownership in terms of like, so it's about property, but it's also in terms of like ownership of ideas and ownership in just general.
Yeah.
So what happens is then, because it's about ownership, it's about then the haves and the have-nots.
I see the comment is wearing an SAPP cap coming through with that.
So it's about the haves and the have-nots. The system is like designed in a situation where someone has to not have something because someone then has to have that thing for me to like value it. So then the problem is, and this is specifically why capitalism is the issue, I personally think, and I also think like the definition of capitalism then, it comes down to people then wanting to own people, right? People then feeling entitled to like the privileges that other people have, people feeling entitled to other people's bodies, people feeling entitled to like just like have possession over things.
It's an overdrive thing.
So like that means then like so capitalism isn't inherently linked to like governance or whatever, but the problem is that if you have capitalism within a form of governance, then it's about ownership of that governance, right? That's how you then get people who like fund super PACs in America so that they can own the government, so that they can influence the government, because you don't feel like you're being a true capitalist unless you own something. So that's essentially what capitalism is.
Great.
To both of you. And I think the last question but the last question was that Chicho's was like, what do you guys think the root cause of racism is in South Africa?
White people. Do you understand?
So I think that the root cause of like racism is inherently linked to like the root cause of like oppression, right? And it's about the entitlement to feel like it's about the entitlement of my value versus another person's value.
Yeah.
So that's kind of in terms of ownership, in terms of like my value doesn't exist unless it's in comparison to another individual's value, which means I have to have ownership over the ideas of what value means to everyone.
Yeah.
And I think all of these systems, I mean, I don't think racism exists alone. It's racism, it's homophobia, and sexism, and all these ideas feed into capitalism. Like
That's
true.
And maybe just to throw in like a curveball last question. You guys didn't choose, I know, but do you guys have any kind of like solutions that you think we can start thinking towards? I mean, the world has been debating about this for 400 years,
like,
so yeah.
An idea, right? And part of it, so I think there's two problems, right? Is one, whenever we like assess solutions, it's always either within the framework of capitalism or it's against capitalism. So it doesn't work in a system where we don't even conceptualize capitalism because we can't, right?
Yeah.
And that's the shitty thing. Wait, am I allowed to?
No, go for it. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
But like secondary, I think the problem is because of the inherent value to be compared to other people and to have ownership over like just the general idea of value, people need to be able to find value in themselves, like holistically, but also in terms of like they don't need that value to be compared to other people, as well as they don't need it then to be like imposed onto other people as well, right? I can value myself as an independent, then it makes complete sense for me to be able to like, you know, not find a way to like oppress another person. It's kind of like in some, so if you look at like states, a lot of times like states don't intervene in other states because there's no need to like impose your ideas onto them because you have your sovereignty. You have your sovereignty. And like your value system is based on who you are and what you want to achieve.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys.
Well, guys, that was great.
So the whole point of this stuff is we're going to launch a reading group next term. And this is the kind of stuff we'll be dealing with. Capitalism, socialism, communism, poverty, solutions, South African orientated, but also like quite globally. And there's a lot of anarchist orientation to the reading group. So if you guys are keen, look out for it.
You're invited.
Right, sure.
Okay.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Started talking about the trash that is man as well.
Always.
Is today is kind of neoliberalism, which came about in the 80s, started by Margaret Thatcher, and kind of America and UK claiming this kind of global economic system that kind of free markets, kind of free trade, but like at the aim of just producing as much wealth as possible without any regard of who they take it from. And I think that's like where it's important in South Africa. It's just kind of like we're South Africa, Africa in general, like any countries that are kind of like taking advantage of the system, they're getting the short end of the stick, because you have things like Marikana, where you have private companies who are obviously more interested in making as much money as possible without any regard for workers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, on the nail, man. Thanks for
Oh,
that.
yeah, it's spot on.
And then the last question would be, what's your take on anarchism? And have you heard of anarchism?
Yes, anarchism. My understanding of anarchism basically comes from Spain and the Spanish Civil War, where it was kind of these two kind of left versus right civil war with like completely contrasting ideologies with fascism and leftism. And within leftism it's communism, socialism, and then anarchism, which is kind of like complete equality and freedom, as opposed to communism, where it's like efficiency and centralization. And I think if you're struggling against like any authoritarian regime, to kind of go from capitalism or fascism to something like communism doesn't make sense, because it's always going to be like kind of this one
like repeating
power
the cycle,
right?
right?
Exactly, and it's just going to come. Exactly, the wheel just keeps on turning. I think anarchism is really interesting. It's like a completely new idea of complete equality.
Cool, man. Well,
Great.
hope to see you at our reading group, man.
Definitely.
Cheers, man.
Thank
Cheers. So by now you should have seen, like, we did a couple of videos across campus asking students on their take on everyday things. So social institutions, capitalism, the root cause of racism in South Africa, and you can see the answers are different. My task now is to just touch on a few things and maybe introduce, or more excitingly announce the launch of ZAPS, or in full, Zabalaza, Anarchist Political School. The term Zabalaza means struggle. It's a Zulu word for struggle, and I'll get into that at the end of this video. So first of all, we spoke a lot about what capitalism is, and I think the different views from the different students are all correct in their own manner. Basically, capitalism is an economic-based system that currently governs our everyday lives. So why is the price of fuel high today? Capitalism. Why can't I afford bread? Capitalism. Why am I drowning in debts and loans? Capitalism. Why can't I get real free education? Capitalism. And so essentially, this reading group discusses these particular issues, capitalism, social institutions, and more specifically, trying to drive us into thinking, how do we begin to change the world? And there's a solution that we are proposing called anarchism. You can see there on the board, I've just broken down the term anarchism, right? A lot of the times when you hear the term anarchism, you automatically in the media and politicians will always talk about chaos and anarchy, not just politicians and media, but including people in our everyday lives in high offices. If there's a protest, they'll be so quick to say, there's anarchy, there's chaos. But actually, anarchism, when you break down the word, an means without, archy comes from the term rulers. So essentially what anarchism argues for is a society or a place where we get to a point where we don't need to be with rulers. To be without rulers does not translate into chaos and anarchy. So essentially anarchism is a libertarian type of socialism. There goes our logo. Oh, I blame capitalists for that. Anarchism is a libertarian type of socialism that wants to see freedom for all, for women, for freedom from racism, freedom from homophobia, freedom from capitalism, etc., etc. If any of the things interest you that we've just mentioned, if you are keen to learn about capitalism, if you're keen to learn about anarchism, if you're keen to learn about what we have to offer as solutions, you're more than welcome to join our reading group. So far, we have it every Tuesday at 4 p.m. with the sociology department. It's completely free. See you there.